it's quite a distance from the mine, probably about a click east.
So about a click east of the mine.
How many choppers are we going to have?
Just one. We sometimes have two planes, but always one chopper.
This is South Africa's Greater Kruger National Park. Long at war with poachers.
Today our mission is to dehorn our rhino population. It's to remove the product and reduce the temptation for poachers to kill these animals for the horn.
Yes, we'll just copy that. We're on our way. We're probably about 7 minutes out from their location.
To protect the rhinos, this team needs to find them before the poachers do.
This team runs Bulule Game Reserve, a large territory that's part of the Greater Kruger. Their plan is to scour Bulule's 130 acres of land to sedate and dehorn its rhinos to save them from poachers.
The airplane up there is identifying exactly where the rhinos are. So now on the walkie-talkie, they're hearing that there are now 2 rhinos below, so they're just waiting for the chopper to come in, fly over the top, dart from above. We rush out, then we'll chase them. We have to be lightning fast to cut off the horn. The rhino should fall probably within the next 4 or 5 minutes. Within 16 minutes, we'll wake up. So between that time, they got to cut off the horn. Hopefully this just saves their life from the poachers,
Absolutely. It's an important step that we have to take.
They covered his eyes. Now they're going to slowly get him go down. You can see the dart right there.
If they fall incorrectly, they can actually crush themselves.
Guys, we need hands here. Let's get ready. 1, 2, 3. Keep going, keep going.
Keep going, all the way over. Beautiful. Okay, we can come back up again.
Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3.
Cool.
You got it on?
I did.
The vets rush in to supply oxygen
There you go.
and prep for the procedure. Every second is precious.
I need that bottom leg out. There we go.
Every movement is precise, with guards standing watch. Under anesthesia, with expert precision, the team removes the horns, making the rhinos less tempting targets for poachers who would otherwise hack them off with axes, knives, or machetes. These are the last lands, the national parks around the world that need to be saved.
This is ABC News Nightline.
This is a story about conservation and greed.
We covered the rhino horn trade for nearly half a century.
China has passed a law making the trade illegal, but it seems to be having little effect.
All around the world.
In Asia, they're used for aphrodisiacs and medicines. In the Middle East, dagger handles.
Through the 1990s, most of the coverage was about poachers who removed the horns after killing the rhino.
They're now dangerously close to extinction in Nepal. What will you do if you catch the person who did this?
I would do the same thing as he did my rhino. They kill even the small baby.
But in the past decade or so, a dramatic shift. Horns are now being sawed off not by poachers, but by governments and private advocates using darts instead of guns, cutting them off safely before the killers arrive.
These horns, they can now store them in a vault. You can imagine there's hundreds of them from the years of dehorning. They put a mark, a line at the top of his back, so when the helicopters and the planes go over the top, they don't dart the same one, so they don't do it twice. So now the big pressure right now is to try to prepare him to wake up.
So you can see she was dehorned before. The top of her horn's flat there, so she was dehorned a while ago, probably a year ago.
Rhinos do use their horns to defend themselves and dig for food and water. But on property where most of them are dehorned, horns are not so essential. And this sawing does not hurt them at all. Rhino horn is made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. There are no nerves, no blood supply, and the horn grows back.
They'll start moving their ears when they're about to stand up, so that this little girl here is about to get up.
So how long is it going to take them when they stand up before they can walk?
Straight away.
Right away?
Straight away. Yep, we've completely reversed all of the drugs. It's hard to watch, but it's a necessary evil.
This type of dehorning was popularized in the early 2000s by one man.
John Hume is a rhino farmer.
John Hume, owner of the largest private rhino farm in the world.
John Hume has over 1,000 here in his farm in the Northwest Province in South Africa.
John Hume, a wealthy South African real estate tycoon,
began collecting, breeding, and essentially farming white rhinos in the 1990s.
He said he began dehorning them as a form of conservation. But he was also very open about another goal: profit. He advocated for the legalization of the international rhino horn trade. The bulk of global demand is in China, where horns are still coveted for traditional medicine, even though their medical benefits are unproven.
The horns that Hume has accumulated could garner nearly $300 million.
I think it is silly not to sell the horn.
He believed that if he could flood the market, it would lower prices and undercut the poachers.
Would a legalized trade really force the poachers out of business?
His extraordinary investment garnered massive attention, even TED Talks.
And cynics are saying in conservation circles, well, John Hume is only in it for the money.
I don't mind those people pointing fingers at me, but quite frankly, that is what the rhino needs.
By 2015, as global numbers fell, Hume had collected and bred nearly 2,000 white rhinos on his farm, almost 15% of the species' global population. Hume argued that if you were allowed to sell horn legally from rhinos he had already dehorned safely, the profits could fuel a massive breeding effort. More money, he said, meant more rhinos.
If I make this enormous amount of money, which I'm supposed to be going to make if I sell the horn, not only will I be able to breed a lot more rhino, but my peers in the country who own rhinos will be able to breed a lot more rhinos.
But the global ban remained. Horns could not be sold.
I need that bottom leg out. There we go. That's fine.
Without dehorning, they wouldn't be here.
Well,
the numbers would be reduced.
Yeah, look, it would make our jobs a lot harder. You know, before we were dehorning, there wasn't a night that we weren't out on some sort of a operation with infiltrations. Sometimes we'd have multiple teams of poachers entering the reserves. We didn't sleep. It was like literally being in a war zone all day, every day.
But poaching in some places has surged again. In South Africa, nearly 200 rhinos were poached in the first half of 2025. 75% of them were poached here in Kruger National Park.
The number of poachers that are coming in, that number's gone up.
The pressure's really skyrocketed recently.
At the moment, it's a big problem, especially in the Kruger National Park. Poaching, it started and picked up with a very great speed.
This anti-poaching special operations official is undercover.
Why is it that we cannot show your face?
They will definitely target me.
The hunting down of rhinos, why is it getting worse?
One of the main reasons that there's so much killings at this stage is there was a riots in Mozambique.
Mozambique shares a long border with Kruger. After a disputed election in 2024, civil unrest swept the country. Amidst the chaos, thousands of inmates escaped the country's prisons.
Over 2,000 prisoners escaped from Mozambique prisons, and most of them was poachers.
A few months later, Kruger saw a spike in poaching.
The last 3-4 months, we really struggle and lose a lot of rhinos.
There's better technology. There's helicopters flying over the top. The fences are better, but nevertheless, they're still able to get in and kill.
The poachers are not really scared of all these things. They take their life on risk to go and make money. Today you've arrested 2. Tomorrow there's 4 who want to take their place.
His information comes from informants, poachers who are paid to give authorities tips on other poachers.
Hey, Bob, can you hear me?
Perfectly, yeah.
I think that informant came through. We're going to be able to talk to a poacher.
All right, I'm rolling A. Camera speed. Camera speed.
How old are you now?
It's 24.
24. Do you have any guilt about killing these endangered animals?
Sometimes ngiyafika mara ayingale ndlela leyo.
The undercover operative hopes to turn this poacher into an informant. We're told to call him Armstrong.
How was it that you got into this work?
Ngithole nami sengiskima labantu laba ba poachako mara kosi njani bengingathi. Ngibone ngomsebenzi yabo ukuthi kanjani thosi njenganyalo babamba imali bathenga lokhu sona sengatithola ngibonile ukuthi shothi ngale kunemali.
And the more money the poachers make, the harder it is to give it up.
How many rhinos do you think you've killed now in your life?
5, 6 so.
5 or 6 rhinos.
Yes.
And in many places, the dream that dehorning would be a long-lasting deterrent is fading away.
1, 2, 3.
Has dehorning worked in order to stop you from poaching and killing the rhinos?
Now, even the stumps are enough.
The officials and those people that are trying to protect the rhinos, when they cut with a chainsaw, they don't cut all the way down to the skull of the rhino. When you took them off, you took a chainsaw and cut right down, really into the skull. Is that true?
Kosi singani or njani siya bulala kosi sitokhona kuthola le mali.
Money is money. Everybody is looking for money.
all that money John Humes was looking for never came. The sale of rhino horns is still illegal. His dream never happened.
I've used all my life savings.
His finances crumbled.
And I finally run out of money.
Forcing him to sell his farm and the nearly 2,000 rhinos living there. And just recently, the man who popularized dehorning was arrested, charged with selling his horns on the same black market the poachers use. If found guilty, the 82-year-old John Hume could face up to 7 years in prison. It is a dramatic fall, but while his story may be unraveling, the story of his rhinos is not. The NGO that bought his farm is now moving his rhinos to protected parks across Africa, including here in Bulule.
It's a very expensive operation that we run here, but it's proven itself to be incredibly successful.
To repopulate areas where the species have been decimated. These rhinos, in fact, came from Hume's farm a few months ago. Then there are the babies. Here in the world's largest rhino orphan sanctuary. Poachers rarely shoot newborns because their horns are too small until they're about 6 months old. Nevertheless, when the mother is killed, the calf is left to die.
Orphans that came here, if they did not have a chance to go somewhere else, they stayed in the same place, would they survive?
No, so they won't survive. Predators will definitely go for them. Hyenas, lions, starvation.
Petronel Nouveau is the CEO of Care for Wild, the official name for this place.
We're now releasing them and see how they utilize the area, how they become rhinos that they're supposed to be.
From the perimeter, it looks a bit like a fortress.
We need to protect them and secure them. Canine unit, mounted unit, rhino monitors, reaction teams.
Have you tracked down poachers?
We usually find this nest around our place. We make sure that we move them away.
With rhinos, the females are known as cows, males as bulls. We're on the search for one bull named Tyson, who survived a brutal attack back in 2016 in Kruger National Park. After his mother was killed, he was helicoptered here.
Yeah, he lost his mom in a poaching situation, and then we looked after him through this rehabilitation.
He's now grown up, but looking at his face, you can see a serious new wound. This time, he was not attacked by a poacher, but from another bull.
You have any idea what happened to him?
Looks like a proper fight, and I think he lost the fight.
Petronel says Tyson has appeared to be anxious ever since he arrived here after losing his mother.
So we got the medic team, so they can try to help him. Depends on his wounds.
There were worries that because of his condition, he could not protect himself, but he has.
On that side of that big tree.
This bull has been with us for a good 8 years, so he's becoming a real dominant bull as well. So now they're fighting for territory.
Now they're out in the real world, and so they get in fights. This is good news.
This is good news for us. In the rehabilitation phases and release, rewild phases, this is definitely some of the blocks that we can tick and say, that's a good thing. Why we come out to treat, we must be mindful that they're endangered. We must be mindful that every rhino counts. Delta Oscar, stand by for Papa 1.
Are you still down there, Papa 1? Because they found it at other side.
There you go, my boy. There you go. That's okay. That's okay. Gooi maar eers jou sar in, Dwayne. Just soft movements, guys. Soft movement. It's really something to see. The brutal force is massive.
You're going to try to do some treatment for him?
Yeah, we just want him to calm down because he's really on edge. What I see at the moment is a very skittish bull that might just run away or might just run this way.
He knows you, but he doesn't know us.
Yes.
So should we back off further?
If you can, I think it will help him. It was a raw, open beak wound, and you could see his skull, and the granulation is back. It's basically closed. I will leave the wound.
Tyson is a survivor, but since the day his mother was killed, nearly 6,000 other southern white rhinos have been lost to poachers.
The other rhino moved off with a baby.
What is the total number of rhinos you have like this?
I can't say it on the camera. Remember, the poachers will also know. Yeah.
Here, a rhino's past does not define its future. These orphans are giving birth to the next generation of these endangered creatures.
When they flew her in, she was about as big as her baby now.
We have some orphans that were flown in here, saved, and now they've given birth to another baby. It's the first time we saw a baby of an orphan.
For her to even with all of that give birth, it's a miracle.